Welcome back everyone to the Otaku Collective. So I'm finally doing something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and it's making videos of first impressions of anime-themed mobile games. If y'all are anything like me, you probably see ads for these games all over your social media. This is of course related to what your activity is on those platforms, and for me it's mostly anime-related stuff. So I'm starting off with a mobile game that released not too long ago, Figure Fantasy. Not sponsored. It has a 4.8 rating on the Google Play Store and a 4.3 on the Apple App Store as of the recording of this video. A quick description of this game going off of the App Store page. You collect figurines by opening blind boxes, as is per usual with most mobile games. You level them up by battling and going through the story mode. You even customize your own Otaku zone with different themes, which is your custom display cabinet for set figurines. The game also offers what it calls simple idle gameplay, which is basically the collecting of resources on its own when offline, which is usually done by daily tasks in other games. Levels can also be cleared with just a single tap. This game does, after all, describe itself as a 3D idle figurine mobile game. The game is currently in open beta and a couple of limited time events are going on right now. What got me interested personally was, one, the anime theme, but also the idea of collecting these waifu figurines and, unlike real life, do things with them like make them battle, customize their parts, and watch them perform cool animations rather than just admire them as they sit still on my desk. Now, don't worry, there are still male characters for you husband-dog lovers out there, and even non-human ones. Now, when I started the game, I was greeted with this very neat opening animation. So as you can see, the figures do come to life. You can even see some of the non-human figures in the animation. It definitely gave me a Toy Story and OG Super Smash Bros. Opening vibe. Which would have been a great idea rather than what they went with. I mean, if Brawlhalla can do it, why not this? When you start off, you select your graphics quality and whether it's subs or dubs. Now, no offense to the English voice actors, but after hearing just a small bit of the English...
Didn't I tell you to let me know before you touch me? Or...
Master, you can't treat a girl like this.
Don't touch me there.
Yeah, I stuck with the subs. Though, to be honest, even that didn't save this game's story from making me cringe several times.
れはルール違反だってば。
Now, I want to stress that this isn't a review, but rather just how I felt when trying out the game with my own personal tastes in Wii-related things. The story in this game is such a chore to get through, and it took several hours just to unlock the Otaku Zone feature. And there are still other parts of this game that I haven't unlocked yet. Now, your time will most likely be less than mine, as I was trying to collect the footage needed for this video, while also recording my own thoughts as I played. I'm by no means an expert, but I felt the tutorial bits of this game should have been done at the beginning, rather than stretched throughout. The first chapter of the story itself is 15 levels, and it's at that point that you finally get a look into the Otaku Zone feature that I mentioned earlier. So what we were able to gather from the story in Chapter 1 is that you are the owner, or master, as the figures very lovingly call you, of the first figure shown in the beginning. A gun-wielding high schooler tsundere, Ume Mizuno, a baseball-playing gal and probably the most loving of the three, Yuki, and the most normal mentally balanced of the three, Kazue Iwata. Each character has descriptions as a figurine would, such as a product name, original work, manufacturer, the materials the figure is composed of, and its specs. Now, I'm not going to outline the entire chapter here, but basically, figures are alive in this world, like in Toy Story, and even have organizations to keep order among them and keep humans from finding out, as well as the antagonist order called Apocalypse, that works toward disorder and destruction, and you as the protagonist are caught in the middle. Now, you for some reason are described in this story as being the only human that can see and hear them, which makes no sense, because if that was the case, the figures wouldn't need to worry about humans in the first place. But, plot holes aside, the text translation of the story, while not the worst I've seen, definitely needs polishing. I found myself reading the text based on how I thought it should be read, and then ended up tripping on my words, noticing the sentence is written oddly. I believe that a decent story that isn't too convoluted and helps you connect with each character is very important when it comes to an anime-themed game, where the goal is to collect characters and really try to pull your favorites. I feel that they could have gone one of two ways with the story. Either keep this premise, but have stronger writing, or keep it simple and focus more on having a deeper emotional connection with each character through individual stories and interactions with your characters. I feel that Destiny Child, which is another anime-themed game that I used to play, did a pretty good job with its story. I might actually do a first impressions of some sort on that one sometime soon. But moving past the story, the battle system of this game is, of course, like many other mobile games, very simple. You place up to 5 figures on your side of the grid and start the battle. Each character has its own class, each with their own specific ways to be used on the battlefield, such as the Tank class Defender, the Attack class Vanguard, the Range class Militarist, the Ranged as well as Buff and Debuff class Specialist, and the Support or Healer class Helper. The battle animations are pretty good looking, and some abilities even have special animations. Of course, you can just sit back and turn on auto battle with increased speed to get past it. Some people like auto battle for the convenience, some don't because it takes away the point of even trying to play in the first place. If you ask me, the gameplay doesn't really need to try that much harder to be better. They could have gone with a turn-based RPG style, and that would have been way better than what is currently there. Sadly, as we all know, most of these mobile games are just pretty up monetization machines, with just enough enjoyment to get you sucked in, and causing you to eventually end up spending just a little bit here and there, in hopes that it will increase said enjoyment. Thus, the never-ending cycle of chasing the carrot tied at the end of a stick. Now, the most important part of the game that can turn you into a penniless weeb if you lack any self-control, the collecting of figurines. The game currently contains 60 figures to collect, from hot waifus to handsome husbandos to odd non-human creatures. There are 4 rarities for the figures, and you can even see the percentage of the pulling rates for each: Mint, Common, Super, and Ultra. Now, the percentages shown are odd because you would think that the most common rarity is on the bottom, but the ratings show that Super has higher odds than Common or Mint. It could just be an error and we don't have the correct numbers here, but I found that I pull at least 1 Ultra each time I open a 10 times blind box, which is what the loot boxes are called here. I do like opening these boxes by ripping them open like a package and seeing the figures come out of their own individual packaging. I think it should show them in their individual boxes for a bit longer, as well as add the options to see them in their own special boxes when inspecting your figure in the figurine section to complete the feeling. Now, you don't just collect the figures, you can also interact with them by tapping on them as they make cute and lewd noises. Picking them up and inspecting them, leveling them up, inspecting their stats, add stat boosting equipment. Sadly, these do not change their clothing, and even change their skins and bases, provided the figure has special skins available to them. There's even an AR option to view your figures in the real world using your camera. A feature that I personally haven't even dealt with since AR was a thing with the 3DS or the PS Vita. But hey, it's an option and it makes sense. If the game grows and adds more characters, you can collect your virtual figures in place of real ones and still see them in your real world space while also taking up no space. Another way to interact with your figures and add to the figure collecting vibe, you can, as I mentioned earlier, make use of the Otaku Zone feature and create an area on your in-game wall in what way you want to display your figures. However, even this feature takes its time to fully unlock as you progress and level up your zone. In this playthrough, I only got as far as unlocking the zone itself before I decided to cut it there. You can visit other people's zones, and there's even a leaderboard for them. My final consensus after playing for a few hours is, the game, like many other mobile games, has potential. I did play the game more after this first impression, and while it's no Genshin Impact, I can see this game worthy being part of a game library. While there are many other waifu collection games out there, I like the idea of adding the connection to real life with the figurine aspect and even adding the interactions to complete the vibe. Hell, the game doesn't even throttle you from playing as long as you want with the limiting of your energy or needing a form of currency to continue. Definitely a plus. Though when you pick a chapter in the story, I did see some kind of number on top of it, as if it did have some kind of energy count, but as far as I know, it hasn't stopped me whatsoever from playing as much as I wanted to. Now, a lot of these games only get as far as having potential and never moving forward from that. Why work more when what's currently out is already making plenty of money? If this game does improve from here though, I can see this as being an enjoyable game to help pass the time and also add to your collecting interests in real life. In the end, I like this game. I think it's decent and plays into my collecting hobbies. If that's enough for you, then go ahead and give it a try. It is, after all, free. And with that, guys, if you did like this video, do remember to like, subscribe, ring that bell button, and share the video. If you like this series and would like to see more of it, then please let me know in the comments section, maybe even make a suggestion for another one. I really appreciate it. Do also remember to follow the social media down in the description below and keep a lookout for when I do live streams either on YouTube or on Twitch. And as usual, guys, remember to keep on collecting, keep on gaming, and keep on sharing. I will see y'all on the next one.